Hey everyone, glad to see you here again. And you may be like, hey, that doesn't look like Bill. And you're right, that's not. It's my friend Derick because Bill is doing really important things, golfing. But I think it's for a good cause. I'm just going to pretend it is because, we'll just say that. But this is my friend Derick. Hey, Derick, how are you?
Good morning. How
Yeah,
are you today?
good. So Derick Vogel is with Credit Absolute, and I've recently met Derick. But oh my gosh, the stuff he has to offer, especially from the residential real estate side and the commercial real estate side, like just businesses and just I know how 2026 we're all planning right now, right? And so this is kind of when I met Derek. I'm like, I need to have him here because he has so much great information. And he was just sharing a story with me where some missed opportunities for people because what he offers is, I want to say too good to be true, but because I know you and I know it's true, I can't say that. So thanks for being here. And I appreciate you helping our people find out how 2026 can be get off the fence, finally do the stuff you wanted to do
Yeah.
because there are chances, there are opportunities. Sometimes people just don't know where to go.
Well, I thank you for giving me an opportunity to speak,
Yeah.
to those that just don't know what they don't know, right? And
Right. Well, that's it. And that's it. They kind of and then they get overanalyzed and the analysis paralysis and they just
yeah,
right. I like the 5-second rule by Mel Robbins. Count down from 5 and just do it. So it's like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, call Derek. I think that should be the
well, I guess where would you like me to start? You want me to just kind of go
Yeah,
through
so
quick?
I'd love to so I think one of the things that from our side in residential real estate people get very stuck on is they're always worried about credit scores, right? And I know you do much more than credit scores and that stuff, but I want to start there because for us, that's a challenge. And people think it's gonna take years to fix their credit challenges. There's all like they get overwhelmed, they get freaked out, and
Yeah,
people are afraid of their finances because of they feel that they have done something wrong and they're a bad person because of it. And that's not
sure.
the reality. You make the decision, you've made decisions in the past that have created a challenge potentially. Now just make decisions going forward that can get those things into where you want to go. And if
Cool.
buying a new house or starting a business is something you want to do in 2026, tell me like how can you help someone who maybe has some credit challenges, needs some upfront collateral for a bit? Like what can we do to help them get started?
Yeah, perfect. So the two things that we focus on, number one is business funding and credit. And then, of course, it's going to be the personal credit, which gives us access to funding to purchasing a home, especially if we're on the real estate side. But we'll get to the business funding part at the end. And on the personal credit side of things, for yourselves or for your clients that don't qualify that are looking to buy a home, I was a loan officer for 10 years. So I have a mortgage background.
Hmm.
And I've also worked with the credit repair companies that I hated or I couldn't stand because they didn't provide any real tools or resources, or more importantly, communication. And as you and I know, communication is key, building relationship with anyone, whether it's a friend or a spouse or affiliate partner. It's just about setting the proper expectations. And I have built over the past 13 years, I've been in business now,
Mm.
um, ways of communication that simplify it for a realtor or a loan officer or whoever works with me for that matter. It doesn't matter. And so I built out marketing, email campaigns, workflows, text messages. And that's just so that you don't have to worry about that. So if you have a bucket of leads that you've talked to a year ago, 2 years ago, but they're not actually being nurtured in a way that's going to move them through, right, let's say the credit repair process, then it becomes difficult, especially when someone maybe just trying to give somebody credit help, but they're actually giving them the wrong credit help because there's so much misinformation about credit. And I really tried my best to provide real value. And that's why I've built a campaign of free marketing tools, free coaching, free budgeting, just information that we know after 4 to 5 months of a client getting free information. And when I mean free, it could just be like tips on how to open up a credit card, how to pay the credit card, right? How to get a budgeting app to really identify how to manage your money so you can actually get out of debt. And so being able to give this to the clients, they start to know you, like you, and trust you.
Of course.
And then with our tracking, and we have an affiliate program, it's free. But the best part is like when you submit a lead, okay, now it's tracked with your code. And so when that lead becomes a client, you're notified, hey, Miss Smith signed up. And then
Mhm.
every single month, you'll get a monthly credit progress report letting you know, like, hey, this client's scores went up 20, 30 points. And you could be like, well, hey, it's time to go house hunting now. Let's get them a
Yeah.
pre-qual. and take that out. Or if they don't sign up, they're still being monitored and managed for over a year with free tips and tools so that when they do finally become a client in the future, you're still going to be notified. So I think that's one of the best things that most realtors can understand is that there are real credit repair partners that are actually trying to do more than just say, give me your leads. It's like, let's provide real value.
So you can help realtors with their clients, and you can help and lenders who have the same challenges trying to, because the lenders are sometimes like they offer some credit repair services, but they're usually referring them out. And then you can also help the individual client. So if somebody called you directly and said, "Hey, I need some help," you can help them start that process as well. So you could do all three of those pieces.
Yeah, lenders are usually doing mostly rapid rescores, or they do have an internal credit analyzer where it's
Gotcha.
like, hey, just pay down this debt or open up a card. There's not actually real credit repair going on, meaning we're actually sending out dispute letters to inaccurate negative
Oh, okay.
items on the credit report that's actually going to do the heavy lifting, let's say. Uh,
Yeah.
but we still help clients too. I mean, it's not, we help a lot of clients for free.
Yeah.
You have
And
somebody
what would
have
be the average? So if a client comes to you and they have some challenges in their credit, average time? I mean, I know some will go quickly, some will take a little bit longer, but,
yes,
is 3 to 4 months realistic, or are we saying, "You know what, let's really plan out," like, I think education is important, so when people are very realistic about what may
yes.
happen, they have a really, "Okay, so maybe I'm starting 2026 to plan for 2027," right? So where does it fall typically?
Well, so most clients, 98%, I would say, that work with me and see a increase in credit scores from 40 points minimum up to
Okay.
100 points in 30 to 90 days.
Oh, that's huge significant.
So super fast. And the reason is this is because we're actually giving coaching and education on how to build credit. Because what we're looking for are the gaps. So
Right.
when somebody has a gap that's not triggering a specific scoring algorithm, that's why their scores won't go up. And so we fix that gap to boost their credit scores. And that's why we have such quick turnaround time. And then also we have tools like free tools, for instance. If you have somebody that needs a quick boost, we use a credit card, a secured credit card that's $200 deposit, but there's no hard inquiry and it reports to the credit bureaus in 2 weeks versus 45 to 60 days reporting.
Ah,
Why
okay.
is that important? Because if you get a card reported, it could boost the score anywhere from 20 to 60 points sometimes just by getting one credit card. And you could do a rapid rescore and have a loan ready in less than 30 days.
And it's interesting because credit scores are reflective of the weirdest stuff sometimes. Because I remember one time my credit score came back and it said, "You didn't have enough retail credit cards." I'm like, "Sorry, hun, I gotta go open up a store credit card. My credit score says I need one." So,
Yeah,
and it's
there's
like things like that are like, don't close certain accounts that have been open for certain periods of time. And I think people just think, "Oh, I'm just gonna start from like no cards and no this," and that's not actually the best thing to do. And I'm sure you can walk them through what may be ones they can if they need to close or how that all works, and just making sure
100%.
they're doing the
That
right
is
things.
one of the special things that we do that's very unique. I'd say maybe 1% of credit repair owners actually offer this, but it's a credit action plan. So we take and analyze their credit report. And some people can have 40 actions, some people can have 5 actions, but it literally tells them exactly what they have to do from paying off collections. We know which collection agencies do pay to deletes. So we can then also identify that so they can settle the debt and pay it to get it deleted from the credit report versus us having to try to dispute it and then get it deleted. So there are just tools to help someone get to the end goal much faster as long as you're working with the right team.
Well, that's awesome. And I'm gonna put the links. You've given me the links to share with people. So
Yeah,
I'm gonna put that in the comments when we're done today so that people can have quick access to that as well as your contact information so people can easily connect with you, because you've been like a wealth of information for me. And I know people that have met you have really enjoyed the processes with you. So we're just gonna make it really easy for people and have them contact you, because I think already you shared with us how well and how successful it could be going, and just making this super easy conversation with you, right? And just kind of how it's going to work out and how you can truly help. And if someone's goal is to have a house in the next year or two, this is a great place to start.
thank you so much. And yeah, anybody that you said that clicked on the link, there's a video too that I explained. or in
Oh, cool.
detail. There's actually videos of the credit action plan. So if you want to watch and look at it. So I try to be very transparent. And then if anybody wants to schedule a call, just click on the strategy call link and I'd be more than happy to walk anybody through a visual walkthrough too.
Oh, that's good. Okay, well, that's easy. And then, okay, so let's talk a little bit about your business funding now, because
Yeah.
when you told me this, I really thought this was the too good to be true part. I'm like, wait, what? So I love
No,
this idea.
it
So
just
share the business
amazing.
funding.
So being a business owner myself, it's been a journey, right? Being in the credit repair space, we get tagged as, coded as high risk. And it took a long time to understand how to build the right data. You got to walk into a bank and say, look, I want $100,000. I want an SBA loan. And I want to be able to provide all the credentials that are going to provide me access to working capital for growth, expansions, hiring new employees, whatever it may be. And I fell on my face a lot. Good thing is I learned from it. And now I can help other business owners stop using your personal guarantee to fund your business. If you have an LLC and your car isn't in your LLC's name, why? Stop using your social security number when you can leverage the business and not, more importantly, be protected. So if
Hmm.
anything ever did happen, they can't come after you personally. They can't come after your home. They can't come after your personal things. And so with that, I see so much of it too, where people are using their personal credit cards to
Yeah.
fund their business. And you can get business credit cards that don't even report on the personal credit. And so it doesn't affect DTI. It doesn't affect when somebody's trying to buy a house, which is
Interesting.
huge. And then I work with a lot of real estate investors that also, though, they'll get pigeonholed because they have one or two or three properties that they're working on. They're waiting to fix or flip or to sell it, and they don't have that working capital. And right now, we have this unique loan I was telling you about where we have over 40 products. So I want to be clear. It's not like this is the only loan that I have, but I like this one because it's an easy one. It's a light doc, no income verification line of credit, $100,000. You only need a 680 credit score, 2 years in business, and 2 months bank statements. And you do need a FICO SBSS score, which is a 180, which is a combination of your personal and your business. But to be able to get a $100,000 line of credit, and you only pay on, what you borrow. It's prime plus like 0.95. So I think right now it's around 6.2%. And if you wanted to take advantage of it before the end of the year, we still have time because then you can write off, the fees
There you go.
for the loan. So, I mean, there's that too. But then we have equipment financing, commercial financing. We do business credit card stacking, which I was mentioning is really valuable because sometimes you can get 50 up to $150,000 in business credit cards with 12 to 18 months interest free.
Wow, that's significant, especially for someone who wants to expand their business. And I know, especially like both Derick and I are in BNI, so we have access to a lot of people who share stuff with us. And I right away I was thinking of one of our members of our chapter who secured a very large contract. And had I known you back then, I would have said, "Hey, call Derick," because he needed a big boost of money to fund some equipment he needed to buy. And so things like that could have probably come in very handy for him, because it's in trying to sometimes, like, trying to think of those things is just painful. Like, I just wanna know the people. I just wanna know, "All right, just call Derek. Here you go." So, much easier.
Right. And it's just another example. We talked about another member in the BNI where they had talked to somebody that just signed up for accounting and they got a $120,000 loan at 26% interest and there's no prepayment. So
Is
they'll
that called
make
a loan shark, honestly? Like, I thought there was, like, some rules against things like that, but I don't know. I'm from New York, so all that's to me.
yeah, well, it's very common. I mean, I had another client, that he bought a business and then they set it up to where he's paying $7,000 a week.
Oh,
A week. And
wow.
so point being is this, it's like, look, there are loans that we help clients that need what we call Band-Aid loans, but we
Mhm.
do what's called MCAs, merchant cash advance. But the cool thing is if we structure it properly, like for instance, I had a buddy of mine who's a wood carpenter and he builds beautiful stuff. And he had lower credit scores, but had good, I'm sorry, gross business gross monthly income. Like he
Mhm.
did well, 20,000 plus a month. And we got him a $50,000 loan. interest free for like 60 days or
Wow.
discounted. And so what we did is we used that money to fix a couple hiccups and then come back to get him the $100,000 line of credit when we got his scores up. But I increased his score to 110 points in 30 days.
Wow. That's significant.
We got him that line of credit, but the point is we just took that line of credit and paid that off and he didn't have to pay anything on it. So we do things like that as well too. It's just you have to be responsible
Yeah. Well,
and
but
just patience sometimes too. But a couple months is nothing, as you know.
yeah, not in this world. But Derek, I'm so grateful you came on today because I really feel like your information is so valuable. You're an excellent resource for people who need to expand or just understand where they are from the credit perspective, but also if they're in a position where they get to build their company more, or change or add or friend, there's options and opportunities that are not tons and tons of overwhelming paperwork. Because I know as entrepreneurs, we suck at paperwork because we're so not that people, unless we're of course those CPAs and stuff. But I've come to notice the majority of us have ADD and we just don't like that detail work. So we're super grateful when people like you want to help us out. So
Well, thank you so much for this
yes,
opportunity. And like anybody that's just looking for, help or do they just, they want to challenge me too with questions, that's what I'm here for. We can learn together and grow together. That's just what, and more importantly, we help, help the clients because there's so many clients that need help.
it's true. Well, thank you for being with us today. And like I said, everyone, I'm going to put Derek's contact information plus the link in the comments. So reach out to him directly. He's super accessible. Shoot him a text. He likes coffee at Starbucks, although he has to find out his order from his son because like he doesn't even know what to order when he's there. So,
Too
um,
funny. Well,
so
Christy, you're amazing. And I'm really grateful for you. And then just have an amazing week. And then I'll look forward to, the new year with you.
you as well. Thanks, Derek.
All right, bye.